Hello and welcome everyone to our show where we talk about anything and everything. So I'm gonna introduce some of my friends and colleagues here. We'll start. We have Elisha, we have Kai, we have Supian, we have Nicholas, Nicole, and Nikhil. It's confusing, but it's not as confusing as love, and that's what we're gonna talk about today: romantic love. So my first question to you all: how do you guys view love? Anyone?
Who wants to start?
Wow, what a difficult question, huh?
All right.
Love is complicated, Danish.
Yeah, it is. It is very complicated. So that's why. So I'm gonna start. I guess I'm sharing for me, love is it's a part of life. Like love is something that you want to say the world like revolves around love, or love makes things go round, but that'll be a bit too dramatic. But unfortunately, it kind of does a bit, at least in our own world lah, because that's the only world we're living, because we don't live someone else's world, right? So love is this pure, pure element of life. But then again, I know that some people do not see it that way, and people see like love is just something to pass the time, or is there if it is, and it's not if it isn't. So what do you guys think? How about you, Nikhil?
Love. Jang, jang, jang. Well, I don't know much about love. I know lust, but that's not a different topic. I guess love is a bit tricky for me. I understand self-love. I went through something this past year, got some grave news. Well, we won't go into it, but it was a journey to see how much I love myself, because I probably don't love myself enough. And if you can't love yourself, how are you gonna love someone else, right? It's a finicky thing, but it's important, because how do you live without love?
Yeah, true. I mean, a lot of stuff is really just love and hate. Say say you bully someone is because you lack the ability to love someone, because which why you hate someone because you don't love them. For me, it's binary. It's either one or two. It's either you hate enough to bully someone, or you are compassionate and loving enough to be respectful. Stuff like that.
Or you're a sadistic person who just loves to hurt somebody.
Oh, yeah. Loving to hurt someone, that's
a twisted love.
It's still love, though. Oof.
I hate myself for loving you.
So what do you guys think? How about you, Nicole? What do you think?
Me? It depends. I'll go with romantic love, I guess. I think romantic love is something that's coveted. It's chased after by a lot of people, but not many can attain it or provide it. And I think it's become some sort of like a kind of unrealistic expectation. Like people always want love to be this perfect thing, like perfect without doing anything. Like some prince or princess will just come and sweep you off your feet, and you don't have to do anything, and everything will turn out great. But I don't think relationships don't work like that. You need to put the work in. You need to put effort. There is no perfect person, no perfect love. That's what I think.
Yeah,
What's
true.
the one thing for you, Nicole, that defines that I need this in a relationship?
Communication.
How's
Communication.
that? Like
I mean,
feel
if you don't talk about things, then and you just like, hey, how's the weather? Yeah, nice. What do you want to eat today? Like, then what kind of love is that? You need to be able to help each other deal with problems and speak to each other on a whole new level, like even on, let's say, religious views, things that are troubling you, issues that you can't seem to get over. your own brokenness sometimes. You might need somebody to help you, but of course, don't get into a relationship if you're like really, really broken inside and like you can't physically or mentally love somebody. Don't get into a relationship and ruin it for that person. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, because like especially for people who's never experienced love, right? Say they get into their first relationship and it goes badly. Like, I mean, I guess that's the saying, like the first relationship is always the one that's destined to fail or something like that.
That hits
So
you.
that, yeah, right. So like what our view of love depends on that first relationship, for me, at least for me, I guess. And then if our views on love has been tainted from the first relationship, it might affect us in the long term. And also like environments also, right? Because we observe stuff around us. So say we observe something that would make us not believe in love, that could also be a factor of not believing in it. So, what you guys like? What are your thoughts on that? I saw Kai was like very into his own head when Nico was talking. He was like thinking, "What's on your mind?"
guys got a lot to say.
Yeah.
I mean, if we look through the history, let's say once upon a time, Eve and Adam. Okay, now, skip that. I mean, I very much agree with Nico about the communication and all that. I think without communication, there is no love, because I think love is both ways. Even self-love is both ways. You need to love yourself in order for your body to love you, right? So in a romantic relationship, it can't be just one-sided, where you do everything yourself and then not letting your partner know what exactly you need or what exactly you can give. So in a way, communications plays a really big role into getting both partners aligned with how you want to move on with the relationship. So
that's true. I took a voice workshop about 2-3 years ago, and like the last thing he said something was what's good for your mind is necessarily good for your body. What's good for the soul isn't necessarily good for the body. So like if for your mind and soul, you might enjoy alcohol, you might enjoy smoking. It's some kind of a relaxant, but it comes back at you, at your body, it attacks your body back, and you can't perform in a certain way, you can't vocalize certain things, you can't hit certain notes, you can't hit certain peak pitches, and resonates two-way street.
Yeah, very much of that. And I think if we were to say love is not, I think the function of love has always been to do with building some things. In contrary, hate is the one that destroys things. So if you love your pets, you want to take care of the pets will grow into having a good life of its own. So same thing as a romantic relationship. If you truly love that person, you do things for that person, eventually you will build a family, for example. So
like smaller pets.
yeah, a lot of a lot of things. If we have more love in our hearts, the world will be a better place. That has always been the case. So war happens when two sides hate each other, so they start to fight and bloodshed and cause death.
True. That would be, yeah. So yeah, I see Nicholas like always like nodding a lot. So what's on your mind, Nicholas? What are you thinking?
Who have you killed?
How do I feel? Okay, honestly, sometimes I think, I mean, a lot of what you guys said about love is it's important, but sometimes, a lot of people, not saying us or any specific people, but a lot of us, a lot of the people in the world, okay, they tend to, how do you call that, make something simple into something very complicated for no reason sometimes. I mean, love is, yeah, it's simple and complicated, yeah, but sometimes let's say if 1 + 1 is 2, but someone is just like thinking, wait, what if we put something else in there? Maybe the answer would turn out better. Something like that. It's just sometimes where people always get to like they tinker with their relationship in some ways, and then sometimes it goes bad and sometimes it goes good. So for me, I feel like as long as both parties are happy, I think that's the most important one. Because you can see many people who like get married and then they divorce. That's the reason why, just because marriage doesn't mean it's like, oh, you're forever together. It can be, but it's not a confirmed thing unless, until you reach the end. So I don't know. I just live in the moment. I'm more of the live in the moment kind of person.
Interesting. That's I mean, we have well, like one of us is already married, right? So like, Alicia, what do you say to that? How do you view that? Is that true based on your experience, or
What Nicholas, what Nicole and Nikhil mentioned together with Kai, communication is one, because a lot of people that I've come across, especially with the numerous strings of boyfriends that I had before, sometimes people run away from problems. It's either people run away from problems or they just put a band-aid on their wound, but they never treat that wound. So the scar will remain with you for a long time. This is when people say that first love is always the hardest, and when you got broken for the first time, you crumble, and there's no one around you to lift you up. Because in Asian culture, I realized that people don't talk much with their own family, especially to their mom and dads. Even like I have 3 other siblings. My eldest brother is 12 years older than I am. My sister is 10 years older. And the closest one to me is my other brother, who's 3 years older than I am. And we're like glue, Since my school days, we just talk about everything, how our feelings towards our parents, why are we from a broken family, why mommy and daddy is not living together, I know this is like a bit sensitive for me, but my point of view in love, I was a broken child in a way that I don't believe in love, in happy ending, in fairy tale love when I was growing up. And if any one of my ex-boyfriends is watching this, they will agree with me saying that I was selfish before. Most of them, they say that I was selfish because I intend to run away from problems and not solving it with them. They keep on asking me, why? Why are we not solving this? Why you keep on running away? But that was just me. Until the age of 20s, in my mid-20s, I start looking for spiritual healing. I start looking for help. I start looking for a psychologist. I've met a psychiatrist in my life. And they always tell me that, Elisha, never ever blame your parents of how you are today, because everybody has a different love story. And going back to Nicholas again, not every marriage will last forever, because it takes 2 to tango. Communication is a huge thing that a lot of Asian culture, Asian people, they don't do this. They don't practice it like the Westerners. If you compare the Westerns, they curse each other. They say all the foul languages like B word, the F word. But after a few minutes, everything cools down. They get back together, have a wine, just sit down and relax and start talking. But Asian, in the other hand, they just argue. They don't talk about it anymore.
and then hoping that it will pass.
Well, I can't say everyone's the same.
We can't say there have been
I can't say everyone's the same. Majority, absolutely. But this is what I felt. Growing up, I was in pain. I was holding grudges, and I did seek for help. So That's why when I met my husband right now, he's a divorcee, and he told me everything as well. So this is what opens up to me with love, because he taught me how to love again. Doesn't mean that it's your first, it's going to be your last. So he actually opened my views in love again.
Understood. So like I just read this one thing. It says the first 10 years of a child's life is the most crucial. So say you're raised in a very complicated household. The first 10 years is always a battlefield at home. It would define, most of the time it would define how you are the rest of your life. But then again, we are not made up of what our past is. We take on a journey of healing, for example, like Alicia said, because everyone we are all in our own journey and stuff. So yeah, I mean, we could choose to just stay that way, view this whole thing, view life as something horrible. That's why I guess nihilism exists. Or maybe we could find stuff to work on, or our life. There are a lot of aspects that we can improve on. There are always aspects to improve on, and that cumulative effort, that journey, it will transform us into someone who is not that person who we are 5 years ago, even last month. So it's all a journey, right? So okay, it's talking about love and the journey of love. So how about you, Sufyan? What do you think?
I like what you said just now about how you can blame others for you turning out how you are, but you can only blame yourself for keeping that way. I like that. To answer your question about love, dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't claim to know anything about this. I'm not a very affectionate person. I guess, what was it? What is my view on the journey of love? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Have you ever loved?
Have you?
Have you, Sufyan? Have you?
Have I ever loved? I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, even with family and all, I mean, I have a good family. I can say that I have a good family. It's just things are complicated, lah. And I relate to Elisha with the whole not understanding your childhood and stuff like that. There are things that happened back then that I'm still figuring out. And yeah, I mean, I guess I've come to the realization that you just have to accept people as they are. Maybe that's what love is. Maybe that's what love is. So, accepting them as they are. Don't try to change them. Hope they'll change for the better, but support them, I guess.
Yeah.
That's my answer. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that answer. Okay. So I remember. Sorry, am I cutting you off? Or
No, I'm done.
Okay. I'm sorry. So I just remember one thing. James Lacan, he's a French psychoanalyst. He said, all love is feelings for a fake person. So basically, whatever feelings you have, you are having towards this idea of a person instead of the actual person. So what happens afterwards? Say you discover their flaws. What happens next? Do you leave, or do you accept them the way that they are? I guess from my own personal view, and I guess it's also Sufyan's. When we meet someone and when we get to know them better and we could recognize their flaws, we should accept them how they are. Sure, there will always be room to improve, even though you are the perfect person. Say Superman. Say Superman. He's an amazing person, right? So he, as a person, also he's a perfect person, in fictional terms, and yet there are also still room to improve on his character, right? And then that's a fictional person, and we are real people. We have real flaws, so there will always be room to improve, no matter how good that person is. They will have room to improve, and then we should just love them how the way they are. But I know that's not say that's not how usually people view, because sometimes there are conflicting interests. So like say, for example, having children, for example, say you want children, your partner doesn't. So now, how does that work? Would you accept them? Would you like find a compromise, or would you, separate and find someone who's more fitting?
Get a pet, and then
Yeah.
the pet can die and
Get a
get
pet.
it.
Get a pet. That's the compromise.
Get a fur baby.
Attachment of losing the pet. Can we have a child now?
If you want a humanoid creature, then get a monkey. Much better
If it
compromise.
doesn't rip your face off, it's fine, right?
Put it in a
Don't get
cage.
a dog. A dog can last up to 15 years. It'll be too late, your eggs and sperm
All
might
right.
be expired by then. So get a cat, get something that dies in 5 to 10 years.
Oh my god.
The turtle. The turtles will outlive you.
You can handle a baby, you can handle a real baby.
So
may
as a
have-
married, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry. No. It's okay, you go on.
No, okay, so like I was just thinking, like Alicia, you are married. Do you plan on having children?
You don't ask that
I think that question
Dennis, look at you.
Wow.
What's your manners, boy?
It's like personal.
It's too personal.
There are boundaries.
Oh,
guys.
damn.
Boundaries.
So sorry.
like for me,
Okay.
usually in our culture, it's always the pressure, right? The peer pressure. Oh, my friend just had a second child. My friend just had a baby, especially COVID babies. There's so many COVID babies. This year and last year was like a baby boom. So every Facebook post that I've seen when I scroll, it's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Or yeah, I just delivered a baby. Sorry for keeping this for 9 months from all of you guys. Like for me, it's no pressure already because it's a blessing that I'm the youngest in the family. So, my parents, they already have grandchildren. Like my eldest brother have 3 kids, my sister have 2 kids, my other brother that I'm really close with, he loved his 2 bikes. He doesn't intend to get married anytime soon. And my husband, he's a father of 4 from his previous marriage. So, like from both of our ends, we just want to have fun together still. I still want to spend more time with him, with our 2 fur babies, so there's no pressure at all. Of course, I have to think about the clock is ticking, for a female, we have to start conceiving before 38. That's the average age that we have to start conceiving before we're going to have troubles in the future. So now I'm 34, I still have 4 more years to enjoy. So no rush. No rush.
Do you want kids, Alicia?
I would love to have kids, but yeah, I'm still a kid myself. And, like my husband, we just want to have fun with each other. We still have long journey to go with. We haven't traveled all around the world a lot. So there's a lot of that blank spaces in our relationship that we still need to fill.
Yeah.
What do you guys
It's
think?
interesting that you said that there's one thing that are contradicting right now in this nowadays. There is this idea where you should be very prepared. You should get ready before you give birth, right? But biologically, the age can't wait.
Correct.
So it's like there is a race between between being ready and if our body can do that.
Yeah.
So where do you find
All
that?
my friends, Kai, some of my friends, they do egg freeze.
Oh,
Nice.
Don't worry,
Science.
technology is there now. Technology is out there. Don't worry.
science.
Science.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I have something else to add about the difference when you say that one partner wants baby and another doesn't want. I think this has to do with a lot of about relationship goals. And I think in the beginning of the relationship, you rarely talk about relationship goals until you are stable in that sort of relationship. So it's it's hard to determine whether your partner will be your permanent partner or is it just in the testing phase. So there are two ways of thinking about relationship. Someone who wants to be together to test whether or not they can be together for life, and someone who go in with marriage in mind, that one day I will marry this girl, but right now let me get to know them first, what I need to compromise, what I need to do, and all that. So here comes a question. If your partner is so different than you, at what point should you give up or keep going?
That is such a good question. Sufyan, what's that? What are you thinking?
you guys answer first. I have something to say about something else, but I don't want to distract from this topic yet.
Okay,
I have
all right.
something else to say too, so I don't want to lose my mind over it. So someone else.
Okay, Nico, Nikhil, and Lisha, what do you guys think about that? That's an interesting question.
I've never actually been in a relationship. I've always been in almost their relationships. I don't know how to explain it, but it's that courting phase, and then they come to the point where they say it's you're moving too fast or something like that, and then when that happens, they'll say like why don't we go slow and let's take a step back. And I kind of, it's not running away, but I take 2 steps back and I look outside in and I'll be like, maybe I'm settling for this person. And that other person might take a step back and realize, oh shoot, I probably shouldn't have said that. I like this guy so much. But it's always been in that weird phase. So for now, I haven't found someone who accepts me for who I am. But I guess it's when you realize that maybe you're going through the same motions every day. It's like how what Kai and Nicole had said earlier. There has to be a 2-way street conversation. If you're always initializing every conversation, then where's the fun of it? I mean, where's the spice? We're Asians. We don't just eat a bowl of rice. We have spice. We have variety of food. We have variety of colors. It's just linked to our DNA. To have variety. So, and there are a lot of people who have those multitude of colors in their relationship. I want that. I don't have it right now. Maybe all gray, but maybe one day.
Definitely waiting for you out there. Just for you to grab, search and grab.
Yeah, there's someone for everyone. That's what I always do. Yeah.
Nikhil's phone number is.
Stay tuned to the end of the show. We'll just put it up there.
Right here.
What about you, Nicole? Oh, sorry.
No,
Okay,
Sufyan can go ahead.
Okay, I got a prompt. Okay.
Okay.
What you said just now, Elisha, about freezing eggs, it kind of like stirred my mind a little. What if like in the future, right? In the future, just imagine, instead of kids, you can raise yourselves. Like what if they take some DNA and you can raise your own clone of yourself?
Clone yourself.
Yeah, like little version of you. Would you do it?
Like
No. Yeah, I would like a clone of yourself.
It's so weird.
But think about it. Like the things that you've regretted, you can teach this little version of you to avoid. So you can think of it as like a redo. It's not you per se, but it's also you. Would you guys do it? Would you raise your own clone using your own experiences, taking into account your own experiences in your own life?
I heard in
No.
America, they actually do this. Like the girls can go to a sperm bank, for example. They can see like the characteristics of the guy who actually donated that sperm in a way. So the girl have the choice to choose which sperm bank that she wants to go to and to have the characteristics of a specific baby that she wants. So she will just conceive without getting any strings attached, no marriage involved. She just wants to get pregnant. So this kind of thing exists.
Yeah, actually,
It's not you per se, but it's just basically a specific sperm with the characters of the donors that you can choose.
Even surrogacy also works like that. You know, you can't just have a surrogate with anyone. You know, they interview you and they look at your background, your family background, your hereditary, and they'll be like, "Oh, will my child look like this, or will my child not look like that?" Yeah, it's weird questions.
From what I understand from Sufyan's question was, were you like thinking of Dolly the sheep? You know, the sheep that they cloned, like using their own DNA and stuff. So basically, it's a exact copy of yourself. Is that what you're talking about, Sufyan?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of just a thought experiment. Like, it's basically, would you redo your own life if you can? You know,
knowing myself.
Okay, so Nicole is not. No, for it.
But someone else reaps the benefits of it. You see?
Have you watched the movie The Island with Ewan McGregor?
So redo my life.
They clone themselves, basically.
Oh dear. Have you guys seen Predestination?
No. Oh.
It's about this guy who travels back and meet himself in the past and fall in love with himself and have a baby.
What?
Wow.
And the lady going to the future.
What?
What's the movie name again?
Predestination.
Gotta watch that. Okay. Thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Sorry for the we are way off topic.
Honestly, I like that question because I just remembered something about this is a branch of philosophy again. It's called antinatalism, meaning this is like the moral question is, should you bring a child to this world? You know, is it ethically correct to bring a child to this world? Because one, they do not give the consent, and also there's like a improper balance between pain and pleasure. Say you are living your whole life of pleasure, but you experience one moment of pain. So that one moment of pain would be enough to not have a kid, because that one moment of pain negates all that pleasure. So now what's I like about Sufyan's question is like, you have the chance to give birth to yourself, to have a version of your own or your own self where they do not experience any kind of pain, because you know the pain and then you can teach them. So that's a very, very interesting question. So how
and they end up learning all new kinds of pain. So
shit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Without the experience of pain, you won't actually learn, because it's the same thing how we were back then in school. We won't listen to the teachers until we experience it. Then we are like, I wish I wouldn't. I studied harder back then. It's always like that until you actually do it yourself. So sometimes telling isn't the right thing, but you can still teach. I would teach my future clones to do it if I can.
Future clones, but plural.
Yeah. Clones. I'll do it only for one reason. I'll do it with one condition, where I record like a teaching vlog for my clones, and then when I die, then only you can clone yourself.
Okay.
One of me in this world is enough for now. All right. If I need you, means I'm dead already. All right. You can take over my spot after that.
You want your clone to be fully ready, lah. There's a test for them to go through before they're ready to bring another version of themselves into the world, huh?
It's not say a test. It's more like an education of being me. Yeah. And then after that, you can just you can be you, but this is me though. You can, if you want to go through the lesson. If not, you will go through your life. Any pain, you don't blame me. That's all I can say. That's what I would do. You would have learned that if you watched it.
By then.
Of Barry Allen on Flash.
But I have a question though. If Nicholas, if that happens, right, that clone will not necessarily go through the same life cycle that you went through. It's not the same timeline. So what could they learn from you in that sense to not repeat the same mistakes?
You know how sometimes where we wish there's someone telling you what is right or wrong at that specific time. Yeah, so it's something like that, but it's not. It's like my words aren't. I'm not the saint or God or anything. My words aren't always right, but when I say it in my way, maybe at this age, maybe you wouldn't understand what I was saying then, but maybe 5 years later, you suddenly like, oh, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. Then therefore they are not so, how you call that, narrow-minded in some ways.
Yeah, it's basically learning from history, like because we all
you,
now
you
we
don't
are
have
living
to be learn
history.
to be me, but you can learn what it's like to be me, that kind of thing. Yeah, something like a biography, I would say.
And just another thought experiment. How many generations do you think it would take for that clone to eventually stop being you?
Oh,
One generation's enough.
one, yeah. I think one is enough.
By that, we can already say after life, before life, for real. Right.
I mean, you
I
can
think
look
it
up.
applies.
Also, it comes back to, living in your own family household. I think as Asian families, we can probably resonate. We're instilled by our parents, or elderly uncles. What is right, what is wrong. We've lived the life. You just have to follow. It's not a common thing in the Western culture, but it's more ingrained first in the Eastern cultures. So I guess it's relatable in that sense. You have to love this way. You have to marry someone rich, or you won't get someone. You have to marry someone who is okay, bye.
the problems of PTP. Them okay.
Yeah, is in that case, but we always make our own journeys. We make our own paths.
Yeah,
That kind of answers your question today.
that'd be interesting. So from someone who like said no, so about you, Nico, why no?
I mean, okay, you can say that I can teach my clone what not to do, what to do, so that they can avoid all the pain, but there is no guarantee that my clone will be happy. It's the same thing for children. Like, how can you give birth? I mean, how can I give birth to somebody when I have no guarantee that I will make that person's life better?
True.
It's that kind of thing, lah. What if I give birth to somebody and they just go full on depressed, something horrible happens to that person, and then they want to commit suicide? Wouldn't it have been better to not give birth?
Yeah. Comes back to the question of antinatalism, I guess. That's the exact thing. Yeah. So like
that's
you
why
guys-
there's a reason why we say like that's why I said the next generation won't be like us. It's the same thing how our parents think we are not their generations. So that's why I don't think the how long for them to change from us, it's already been done, honestly. Even I see the like people like 5 years younger than me, it's already like, oh my god, why are you such a kid? But actually you already passed high school, but I think I think you're a kid. So it's already changing as we go right now. So I can definitely say not even one generation later, our clones ain't gonna be us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Damn.
Dude, I feel so old sometimes talking to like. What
I feel so
are you guys
old talking to you,
about?
Sufyan.
What is all this lingo? New word every week.
Talking about modern age, right? So like, and also like coming back to love, like how do we find love in this era? Because it's especially now when like we are all at home, and then PKP stuff, and even our work is at home. How do we do that? How do we branch off?
Tinder.
Through Zoom.
Online date, Discord.
Discord.
There is a success.
Sugarbabies.com.
Play online games.
Yes.
Hmm.
The online
Okay.
business is booming now.
Yeah, going back to Kai's question though, because opposite attracts in a way, but then again, if you could find somebody who have the same interest, it's gonna be a wow factor. Trust me. I know some people say, I know it sounds cliche, like opposite attracts, but if you guys are so much different from each other, what's left? It's basically communication, correct? Just to build that bridge of your relationship. This goes to our forefathers' time, like our late grandparents, when they got married at a very young age, maybe 15 or 16 years old. not knowing their spouses, their future spouse. They have no clue who are they married to.
Yeah.
So in this era, in this modern world, we are so blessed and we are so lucky that we actually have Facebook, we have Instagram. My time back then when I was still in college, it was MySpace or Friendster. And I did manage to find some of my loved ones there. You know, if you guys are watching, hey, yeah, thank you to Friendster, you know, thank you to MySpace. And we enjoyed our time, like watching movies, we played bicycle, you know, we go hiking, we go jogging together, we go for, you know, watching sports cars. And yeah, modern world is so easy for you to find that someone.
But that's a double-edged sword, no? Because yes, it's easy to find someone, but how sure are you if that person's a good person? So macam they might appear, you know, very nice on screen, but when you meet them face to face, they'll be, you know.
If you up for dates, then up for more dates.
Well, I guess from that point, you know what your type is.
Yeah.
My type is good point. What are your types? I don't know.
I mean, sometimes we don't even know the real person in real life. So what can you say about knowing someone through the other screen? It's the same thing. It's just, you know, it's not in person. That's all.
I remember something from just like you said, in the older times, they don't have much choice, and also arranged marriage. One of my friends told me that he agrees with arranged marriage because of one important reason. It is not arranged marriage, the love is not based on feelings, but based on fully commitment, based on your own choice to choose to love this person because you are forced to arranged marriage. So then
it's still going on.
Yeah, it's still going on. So I'm not sure if I should agree with that, but it's a good point. So just to bring it up. So then, would you have a checklist of things before you find love? So that whatever similarity that you need has to be with that person before you go to find them.
So basically a type lah. Okay.
Yeah, basically a type. But maybe, yeah.
Independence is a must.
Yeah,
independence is a must.
Because if she's my partner isn't independent, it's like dating a kid. So I'm not part of that.
Right. Yeah. Technically 3 types of relationship, right? Independent relationship, interdependent, and also dependent.
What is
have you guys heard of that?
No. Teach us.
So independent is that you both are going on your own ways. Okay. So it's not very healthy because you're like on your own goal, your own stuff, and rarely have interaction with each other. So another one is dependent, which is attachment, like fully attachment, clingy, that kind of
clingy. Oh my god.
No clingy.
People have a story now. And the last one will be, which is what most people strive for, is interdependent. So to put it simply, it's like this. Interdependent is that I will make myself better for you. Dependent is I need you to be better.
Okay.
Independent is I will be better. So interdependent is more like you yourself is the top priority, and your second priority is the romantic relationship. But because of your first priority, your second priority will follow the nature and become better.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Now everyone's thinking, what was I in?
Well, I'm trying to
what
think of a
happened to
word.
me?
What is this type then? I want to be better for myself and my partner. Is that the
interdependent, right?
That seems like
because I
interdependent.
heard I want to be better and I want to be better for you, but I didn't hear about for myself, that kind of thing.
The third one,
maybe I'm just blurred out. My mind wasn't.
One is
That one. Yeah.
That seems like interdependence, no? Because you want to be better for yourself and for the other person.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like it. Yeah. I think that kind of relates back to, loving ourselves before loving others. So I feel like, okay, this is my point of view. Loving ourselves is very hard. It's a whole journey, and maybe even after decades, we still are not able to love ourselves properly, right? So macam should we wait for that moment, like after decades, or is it better to find someone, love them, and then love ourselves in the process? What do you guys think? Should we love ourselves first before loving others, or that can happen simultaneously?
Simultaneously. How do you know when you love yourself enough?
Good question.
Good question.
It's like, is this like one day you're just like, yeah, I love myself enough. All right, time to love
Make a clone.
cloning time. To me, I don't think there's ever enough, because love is more of a want than a need sometimes. So you always want more. You don't need more. You want more. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
It's too
What
deep.
about-
I'm speechless.
No, Kai saying it's more deeper. I think I've never.
Yeah,
heard
you.
before.
Oh my gosh, Kai.
I need to know what the websites you look at this stuff at.
Yeah.
Always a quiet ones. What about you guys, Elisha, Sufyan, Nikhil? What do you guys think?
What was the question again?
Like, does like self-love and loving others come simultaneously, or should you make sure you love yourself first for sure and then love others? I see the gears turning.
Well, I think you always love yourself. You can't say you don't love yourself, because an act of brushing the teeth is, you can either look at it as, you can choose not to brush your teeth. You can choose not to brush your teeth, and the complications that arise from that, would be rotten teeth and bad breath and all that kind of stuff. But you choose every day to brush your teeth, and that is in itself an act of love, for your self-love. I believe that that's one chapter of that big book of self-love, and finding love or loving someone else or someone loving me. It's just that I would like to wait till somebody loves me for who I am, and I just want to share that love share myself with that someone.
Interesting.
Okay, I would like to use your brushing teeth analogy to say that.
Here's how I love myself.
Wow.
You're doing it.
I
Yeah,
have
so-
lips, okay? Don't judge me.
Just drink water. It's cheaper.
That ain't helping me.
Yeah, so that analogy, it will be that we must love ourselves before we can find love. Because if you don't brush your teeth and you get bad breath, nobody wants to kiss you, so you can't find love. Then love
Can't go
won't
deeper
find you.
anymore.
So yeah, I think you need to be ready to love yourself before someone, or else your partner will suffer. Your bad breath. Yeah.
Unless your
Yeah.
partner just has really low standards, like
Okay.
good job, you
Someone
found
who has
one.
bad breath.
But that in itself, that is their own way of loving each other, and we can't dispute that also.
True.
I guess then it will come down to standards of which paste or which toothbrush grade or what kind of water you want to use.
Whoa.
Water? What?
How
What
you're
water?
willing to compromise, lah.
Yeah.
I only drink
Talking
mountain
about
water.
standards. Talking about standards, what do you guys think about today's standards? Like, because like a lot of people would just like, oh, there's this person provides, this person is loyal, this person talks nice when he's mad, doesn't curse me, and then that's just the bar. So what do you guys think about that? Is that enough? Because it doesn't seem though.
Sometimes I think some people's way of love is a bit, I don't want to say fake. It's more, I don't think it's a good reason for what I think, for what I see. Sometimes it's like, oh, if this guy has money or this girl has like future or whatever, okay, that kind of thing. So then you just like this person more, regardless he's handsome or not, he got abs or not, and then whether the girl is pretty or not, she got assets or not. So you can't really, you can't really tell sometimes. So sometimes I'm scared to meet so many types of this kind of people sometimes, because they're gonna break your heart. They're really gonna break your heart. In some ways, if they don't, then okay, you're lucky. But if you're not, get ready for some pain.
True.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Sukiat's been awfully quiet. What's up there?
I guess Nicholas and Alicia are like the experienced ones, and then the rest of us are inexperienced. So
Why makes you say that?
I mean, for one, you're married, so that counts for
I
something.
ain't married. How my experience? I ain't married too.
But the question is about either you self-love, how do you divide your love towards somebody else? Because this kind of question is very diverse. It's not only about just my marriage alone. Yeah, it doesn't mean that.
Come from my friends.
Yeah,
They all
exactly.
complain about their relationship to me, and I'm just like, sure. Yeah, that's a problem, all right. Yeah.
Sometimes
Good luck.
it's like I actually care more about my parents' feelings rather than my own husband's feelings. Sometimes, because I know clock is ticking. We're not getting any younger day by day, and maybe one day I will be able to spend that special moment with my parents while they're still alive. For me, this kind of love, it's being handed over because they're actually my mom and dad. So I just want to prove that my love is there. And since I came back to Malaysia in 2020, which is last year, I haven't seen my father since November 2019. So whatever love that I could portray right now, whatever I could show, is like buying him gifts, or we created a WhatsApp group saying that, hey, daddy, how are you? It's like every morning we say good morning to each other, or I just give him a call if I feel like I miss him. And I don't call my husband as much as I call my dad. And my husband is the one who's calling me every single day. So, yeah, love is very diverse. It's not only about marriage. I know you keep on asking about my marriage, but yeah, love for me is very, very diverse. It's not only for my love for my husband. I love him, don't get me wrong. It's just that there's so much love to give out there. Like even if you go to an orphanage, even when I was walking around in Bali, I see all these small kids walking around with a basket. They're trying to sell you beads, bracelets. And for me, I give them money saying that, make sure you buy food, okay? Make sure you eat. And they look at me and say, why are you taking me to the restaurant? I say, because I want to make sure that this money is for your food. Yeah, there's love everywhere, trust me.
True. I can get that saying, but for me, I tend to like I the way I think is like this. For that part, it's more like I love my parents a lot too. Okay, I wouldn't say there's more than this girlfriend, and then my parents are more. I wouldn't say there's any high or low, but it's sometimes I just think like this way. I'm dating my girlfriend, not my parents. I love my parents, but I'm not dating them, so I would treat them like I love them. So I feel like there's a different treatment for different type of things. As like it's like you go and pee, you wash your hands and everything, but you take a shit, you have to wash your butt as well. So you have different process for every different thing. There's no. It's just like,
Wow,
what a
the end of
metaphor!
it.
What a metaphor!
example. Right? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's like once you live alone for a long time, for example, let's say if you go overseas one day and you have to become so independent, everything you have to do yourself. I still remember when I wake up, first thing in the morning, the food will be ready on the table. It's like such a nice feeling. And suddenly at the age of 21, I have to go overseas. I've been away for 12 years. And I have to do everything. You know, I have to go to the laundry by myself. I can't depend on my brothers anymore to drive me here and there. I have to do everything on my own. Celebrating birthdays alone, special occasions alone. And then suddenly I become patriotic. I never loved Malaysia as much as I do right now. Once you're away, suddenly I become patriotic. I say, hey, don't you say that about Malaysians. Don't you say that about Malaysian food. It's tasty. What do you mean that nasi lemak smells like poop? You know, some of my Western friends, they say, ew, durian? It smells like stinky feet. And suddenly I become patriotic. I said, no, don't you say that. I grew up with this food. I started to become like defensive.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can criticize Malaysia except Malaysians. Y'all shut up. Yeah.
How do you call the nasi lemak sambal smells like poo?
Oh yeah. Oh damn. Talking durian. I was in France, right? So I gave durian chocolates to my friend, and then he just ran out and puked. Like, okay, y'all are weak, but y'all eat cheese. But okay.
Well, durian's not for everyone, like I'm
Even
not a fan of
Malaysians,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Wait,
I've
who
tried
likes
it. I've
durian
given
here?
it a few.
Who likes durian here?
Not like, but
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I can eat it. Yeah, I can eat
I
it.
hate it. Okay. One time my
Yeah.
friend ate durian
Can't.
and came into my car, and then he just sat there less than 5 seconds. I asked him to get out and walk home. I do not want to touch you.
my
Right?
brother.
You eat durian, just get out. I don't want to see you on my side.
So I
think
guess
it's
love is like
that I
durian.
don't like papaya. I hate papaya. It tastes like vomit.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what?
I can sort of agree. Yeah, I'll prefer durian.
So fruits are not for everyone, just like love is. It's not for
Yeah.
everyone.
Love is diverse.
I managed to
Yeah.
stick
Let's
that
go
in there.
food.
I'm a straw
Project.
born alone.
Yes.
All right. So I guess last question for this session. If given the chance to experience a fairy tale kind of love, would you want it?
What's a fairy
No.
tale kind of love?
Everything is perfect. Like say,
Oh, happy ever after kind of thing, is it?
yeah, happy ever after kind of effect. Would you want it?
Why not?
No.
Why not?
It's
Why
boring.
not? And no. It's boring. Okay, how's that?
You just imagine this. Our life and our heartbeat is the same thing. If it just stays in one tempo, we're dead inside in some ways. So it has to go up and down. You know, the whole point of why roller coasters are fun too is going up and down. If it's just a straight line, you might as well just drive a car. Right?
Yeah, take an MRT. True. Okay, so for Kai, why? Why did?
I guess depends on if you are only living with your partner in a fairy tale world, or you are living with your partner in a fairy tale outside a more destructive world. Then if it's the latter, then of course, yes, you and your partner live in fairy tale, but then there are external things that are trying to destroy you both, but then you both are so strong because of this fairy tale life. So yeah, I agree with the roller coaster. I think sometimes we need to feel some anger, some sadness to be able to feel the peak of happiness, right?
Yeah, true. Because happiness cannot exist without pain, right? Because if everything is happy, then nothing is, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the game We Happy Few. It's
Okay.
about everybody being happy, and all this happiness has no other emotion, and it starts to be creepy because you don't have any other emotion to compare with it. Yeah.
That's a good thing to think on. How about you, Nicole?
No, because I like drama. No, I'm joking. Okay.
Drama is
No,
fun.
no. I'm joking. But in a sense, it's kind of true. Like all the bad stuff that you go through together, it brings you closer together. So if everything's happy, then how can you have a bond? Like, that's what I think lah about fairy tale. It's not real. It's fake. It's unrealistic. Yeah.
Interesting. Alicia, what about you?
Fairy tale. Does fairies exist even? So basically, it's just an imagination, just like a fairy tooth fairy. Do they exist? I don't know. For me, with pain, happiness will come eventually. Because, for example, if you injure yourself, if you're being hospitalized, you will see who are your true friends or who will be there for you when it comes to the times of need, when you need that emotional support. So for me, this is going to be like a fairy tale per se, because for you to realize who's actually there for you, you need to experience through tough things or tough times in life. Because friends will be there, they just pretend. Maybe on your Facebook, on Instagram, you have thousands of friends, but who will be there for you when you need them, especially during rough times? And ever since I came back to our hometown, to our home country, I actually can count how many true friends I have after being through so many pains before.
Interesting. Sufyan, how about you? What do you think?
Okay, I feel like a lot of people are talking about like a fairy tale life versus a fairy tale ending. Would I want a fairy tale ending? Yes. Your story ends you being happy. Yeah, I want that. Would I want a fairy tale life? Yeah, sure, why not? It's an easy one.
Nika, what about you?
When you said fairy tale, I don't know. It's just one of my favorite fairy tales is Cinderella. Yeah, I just love Cinderella. And I've researched many different versions of it. I don't know if you guys know, but Disney has 3 Cinderella movies. And Cinderella herself has, a journey of love. She has, her formative years. She has her parents, and then her mom dies, and then she's got stepmother and stepsisters, and she's put, to trials. She's made the maid, even though she's her father's alive. Different versions her father's alive, and different versions her father's dead. And in some versions, she meets the prince 3 times, or she meets the prince once. But in the end, they still come together. I would like a fairy tale ending. And like Sufyan said, fairy tale life. I don't know if I would like a fairy tale life because pain is very important. It's an obstacle, and take a river for example. If a stream just flows, you can't hear the river. But you hear the river because of the multitude of stones that are along that river journey, and it makes that tinkle, that noise, the rush of the stream. It's blocked at one part, and then it flows into the other. It's this little curves of down the hill to the sea, and it makes life beautiful because you can hear the river. And when you hear the river, there's life around it, because humans can hear it, animals can hear it. But if you can't hear the river, then it's just a dead stream, and it just flows in the sea with no reason. So yeah, I'd like a fairy tale ending and a fairy tale life. What about you, Danish?
Thank you. I love the analogy though. I mean, it beats pee and poop washing hand stuff.
Nicholas, you failed.
All right. I guess that's the thing. I think from what your answers are, it does seem to be like a paradox of happiness, because happiness cannot exist without pain. Because if everything is happy, then nothing is, and it is I would say dichotomy of the two. It's pain and pleasure have to exist to exist. So I guess even fairy tales, like Nicole described, even fairy tales have pain in them. Even fairy tales, like even Cinderella went through very very tough obstacles. Went through pain to eventually reach that fairy tale ending. So I guess if fairy tales have obstacles, then a fairy tale life and a fairy tale ending would be interesting. So thank you guys so much, and this concludes our first session, first topic, and drop what you guys think. Tell in the comment section below what you guys think. What do you guys think about love? How do you guys view it? And we will see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Hope everyone finds their love.
Hey.
Yeah, love is in the air.